Good afternoon and welcome back to our YouTube channel. So today we are going to analyze the nature of Kcse mathematics paper 2. So we'll start just as we did in the previous video about paper 1. We are going to look at the main topics. Remember, this is just a guide. We can have the paper varies, but generally we have section A, which has 50 marks. Section B also has 50 marks. And these are some of the key topics, the key topics which are tested in section B of paper 2 mathematics. As you prepare for paper 2, these are some of the main topics. The first area that I've decided to look at is quadratic expressions, and this can be tested in various ways. One of them is quadratic expressions, where we have graphs of quadratic function, or we can also have the graphs of cubic function, which is in the topic of graphical methods, but I've decided to put it in this category. The other way is where you form a quadratic expression and solve it. And these are three possible 10 marks questions here. One, forming the quadratic expression and solving it from one problems. The other one is drawing the graph of quadratic to solve a quadratic expression. The other one is graph of a cubic function. The other area which is likely to be tested, which commonly carries 10 marks, is income tax. And we also have other areas like appreciation and depreciation, and also hire purchase and the compound interest formula in this topic. But mainly income tax is very, very common in section B of paper 2. That is a 10 marks question. The other very, very common topic is vectors 2. It's a very lengthy topic, and therefore it is mostly tested. The other topic is matrices and transformation, the first topic in Form 4. It's very, very common to be able to draw them, do the transformations, and describe them, and also find matrices for different transformations, a common matrix or one matrix for successive transformations, and such. The other area is sequence and series, which is also very common. Sequences and series. As you prepare for the exam, make sure that you review all the formula for the sequence and series, the sum of terms, the nth term, and such. We also have the other topic, statistics 2. And this is, if it's a 10 marks question, then it mainly tests the cumulative frequency curve, which is also called the ONGIF, or the standard deviation, where you find the variance and the standard deviation, or the mean from assumed mean. Make sure that you prepare on those areas. We also have latitudes and longitudes, very, very common. 3-dimension geometry, 3D, very common also in section B. Probability, also very common. Mixtures and rates of work. The rate of tabs or rates of work when some people are doing a certain job. Make sure that you go through that topic. We also have integration. Doing integration, especially the area under a curve, is very, very commonly tested. We also have variations. Which is also a commonly tested topic. The other topics which can be tested in this area, we have loci in Form 4 topic. We also have we have the linear programming topic. Also, we have graphs of trigonometric functions. Among all these areas, you will definitely be required to choose your best 5 questions. So make sure that you are prepared in very many areas here, so that you can be able to choose or to appropriately choose 5 questions from this area. When you choose the 5 questions, make sure that you do them accurately to score 50 marks from this area. Thank you. We now look at some of the common areas in section A. So generally, any student should know that when you look at section A, any topic can be tested. That is both Form 3 and Form 4 topics. Even the topics that you've mentioned as carrying 10 marks, you can be having still another question in section A from the same topics. However, some of the topics which are not mentioned there and they are very common, or they are also tested in section A. We have approximation and errors, a short topic, but very common in section A of the paper 2. We have the sums, rationalizing the denominator, another short topic, but very common in section A of paper 2. Further logarithms, another short topic which is very, very common in section A of paper 2. Binomial expansions, they are also very common, and this is a question which normally carries 4 marks, 2 marks for expanding and 2 marks for approximating the value using the expansion that you've done. We also have areas like equation of a circle, rate of change at an instant, rate of change, average rate of change, and they are very common areas tested in section A of paper 2. In our many videos we've uploaded on this channel, we've discussed all these concepts. So I invite you to go and watch our videos as you prepare for this paper or this exam. We also have subjects of the formula. Changing the subject of the formula is a very common question in paper 2 section A. We have commercial arithmetic, hire purchase, appreciation and depreciation, compound interest formula. You can also get a short question from income tax. It's also very common. It can be tested in section A2. We have logarithms. That is the logarithms, the Form 2 topic in logarithms, also very, very it's tested, normally tested in paper 2 section A. We also have integration. Doing the integration is also very, very common, especially the definite integrals, where you have to integrate from a certain value to another. So we have very many areas, and any topic can be tested in this section. So it's good for a student to prepare in as many of the areas, especially from 3 and from 4 work. That is where most 90% of paper 2 comes from. When you approach the exam, make sure that you are confident, you are prepared, you have your calculator, you have your mathematical set, and you are going to pass. Make sure that you plan your time well, time your exam. Make sure that you have some minutes spared towards the end of the exam to be able to review your answers to avoid any petty mistakes. Also make sure that you do your questions first. To do that, zero in on the questions that you find easy for you. Zero in on easy questions first. Also make sure that you do all the questions in section A, and 5 appropriate, or the 5 questions that you think you can get all the marks or high marks in section B. Thank you, and all the best as you prepare to do your paper 1 and paper 2 Kcse this year. Thank you.